Hi guys, good morning. So I made a video. The last video I posted, I got lots of comments and DMs from a lot of you asking me or wanting to know more about the aviation sector and the process it took for me to, land a job, get my license and everything. Now, to enroll in an aviation school in Nigeria, you need at least an O-level result. That's your WAEC result. And usually they run some medical checks on you. That is in the process while you're in the school. You apply to the school. One of the first things they will do is to do a medical check for you, and the medical check is also important for your license, your medical certificate. So they need to check if you are fit to fly, if you're fit for the job. So that's like one of the first things you will do when you get to class, when you enroll in the school. And the program, some schools take they do like 2 months. I think some do 6 months. It depends on the school regulation and all. So that's by the way. Secondly, you need to be prepared, mentally prepared. One thing that helped me when I went to aviation school was I was mentally prepared. I didn't just go in and then everything looked new to me. So just like every other person asking, I also made inquiries, and I was able to have like a friend that went to the same school as the one I went to, and she gave me every detail I needed. So it made me a bit prepared for the whole process. So being a cabin crew is not just being beautiful or coming on board and wearing uniforms and smiling at people. It's a lot tougher than that, actually. If you're not mentally prepared in your 6 weeks in school or your 2 months, it will drown you, because it is tougher than it looks out. TikTok makes it look beautiful. Trust me, it's a lot tougher than that. You have trainings, you have classes, you have exams. When I went to LA, I think we wrote tests every 2 days. Every 2 days we're writing tests. Every 2 days we're writing tests or so. But every week, no week goes by that you don't get to write at least 2 tests. And you have to make sure you pass. And the cut-off mark in aviation is 75, so you can't score anything lesser than that. So you have to do a lot of reading. Aviation is not something you cram. You don't come here to cram. If you don't know it, you don't know it. If you didn't do, you didn't do. It's not something you cram like you're just trying to pass an exam. No, you have to know it. You have to learn it. If you don't know, that's why they always tell you ask questions, and don't be scared to ask questions in class, because if you don't ask questions in class, you're on your own. No. Ask questions. If you don't know, the teachers are calm. They'll go over it again, and they'll make sure everybody learns, everybody follows up and all that. So you need to read. It's not, if you don't like reading, I'm not saying reading like fiction, no, like reading, you have to study. There's something we call aviation bible. It's this big, and you have to read it. So you have to read it, and you have to know, you have to understand. You cannot even cram it. Don't even bother. You can't cram it. Don't bother. You have to read. You have to read to know and read to pass. There are 2 different things. To read to pass is you at that moment reading to pass your test or your exam. To read to know is that the shege is in front. Do you understand? Like the wahala day for front where you go face. So if you don't know it, if you don't know simple basic things, not just basic, if you don't know your aircraft type, if you don't know little things, you're out. Some companies don't give mercy. They don't give second chances. They're like, go back to class. So you have to, the 6 weeks comprises of lots of classes, different courses. There's air law, there's aircraft. Air law has to do with lots of, the regulation, the SOPs and all that. There's first aid, there's aviation security, so many of it, CRM and all that. And then the aircraft is you knowing about the aircraft type, the aircraft you are learning. For example, if you're going to learn Boeing 737, they can use like 2-3 weeks to teach you about Boeing 737, just knowing everything about Boeing 737. You may ask yourself, what are you learning for just 2 weeks, for one aircraft? But mind you, it is bulky, and it's not an easy course, honestly. All of my 6 weeks, I think a lot of people think that if you're beautiful, then you just automatically qualify to be a cabin crew. Let me tell you, it doesn't work that way, guy. It takes beyond beauty. It takes intelligence. It takes qualifications, right? Your whole 6 weeks in class, nobody's going to tell you about how to hold a tray and serve passengers. Nobody's going to talk to you about, ask your passengers if they want tea or coffee. No. When we finished air law, when we finished aircraft and all that, we entered the emergency. See that emergency? It felt like the whole 6 weeks, all we were hearing was fasten seatbelt, sit down, head down, stay down, block exit, come this way, hail on to the forward galley. They want you to be mentally prepared for every scenario. Every scenario. Be mentally prepared. You cannot afford to not know what to do. That's the funny thing. You cannot afford to be dumb. You can't even afford to act like you're stupid. Like, you have to know. You have to know. That is why you're being trained. You have to know. It's not a funny job. It's not an easy job. I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but see, 6 weeks in class was tough. I felt ill. 6 weeks in class was tough. And then after your classes, there's something we call competency test. I think that's one of the toughest part again, because the competency now comprises it is you. It's an oral test, yeah. So NCAA officials come, and then they have an oral interview, an oral test, yeah, with them and the students. So they can ask you any question from anywhere. They're just trying to test your knowledge to be sure that, okay, the 2 months you have spent in class, you learned something, you know what you're here to do. They have to be sure that you know. Do you understand? So they can ask you questions from any corner, anywhere at all. Anywhere at all. You can be asked any question. So if you don't know, it's as simple as go back to class. And that go back to class, you're going back to pay money. Nobody's teaching you for free. You're going back to pay money. Go back to class is go back and learn. If you do not pass your competency, you cannot sit to write an NCA exam. There are no two ways about it. Go back to class. And when they say go back to class, they mean it. It's another difficult thing. You have, like, I think the cutoff mark in aviation is 75. So whatever you do, whether class test, whatever, make sure you pass 75. If you score below 75 in NCA, even if it's 74, you have failed. You will rewrite the exam, and you will wait for like a month to rewrite the exam. After reapplying, you will still wait for like a month to write the exam. So do not joke with it. Let's not leave the money you paid aside. Do not joke with it. It takes your time. It takes everything from you. Don't even play. It takes everything from you, honestly. Okay. There's also what we call drills. So there is ditching, and then there is fire drills. So ditching is an emergency landing on water, and then you will also do that training in case you experience ditching. There's an emergency landing on water. What you're supposed to do, what your passengers are supposed to do. So you have to do the training. That's another thing you have to pass. But that is what's it called? Is it practical? Yeah, it's a practical. Everybody has to do it. It's not in writing. You have to do that. So we also have fire drills, and fire drills is then also you also doing the practical. Mind you, you've already been taught all this in class. So the practical is do it, let's see. Like I said, practical, do it, let's see. If you are in an aircraft and there's fire, you're a crew on an aircraft and there's fire, what are your commands? What are you supposed to do? What are you not supposed to do? And all that. So it's a practical, everybody all hands on deck, everybody works together. So that also qualifies, it has to be written in your license as well that your drills are current and you have done these drills. So all that you learn in 6 weeks, all that you will do in your 6 weeks or 2 months, depends on the school. People think it's easy to land yourself a job after finishing aviation school. What you don't know is that aviation is a very brutal sector. There are no jobs. See, the number of cabin crews we have in Nigeria are like this. Yeah, and then the number of airlines we have are like this. So how many can they employ? Mind you, people graduate from aviation school every month. People are writing NCA exams every month. It's a brutal sector. A lot of airlines, some airlines don't even make their recruitment public, especially the private airlines. They don't. It is more of the commercial airlines that make it public, but private airlines don't. Not all, not barely. It's not an easy field. You can hold your license for as long as time itself, and you may not even, doesn't guarantee you having a job. So you have to be prepared that, okay, it's 50-50. I may get a job after school when I apply, and I may not get a job. But be optimistic, be positive, and you see how far it goes. Well, I hope I've answered some of your questions, and anything I did not mention, just put it in the comments and I'll reply. I don't think I can remember any other thing that I did not mention. These are the basic things, basically, to know what to do before applying for aviation school and what goes on in every aviation school. I've gone to like 2 different aviation schools, and the process is still the same. So if you have more questions, just let me know. I'm sleepy, I'm tired, I left my house since 4 a.m. and I'm still waiting for my passengers. So yeah, welcome to my life.